Welcome to Green Treasure. To discover the art of landscape and home gardening, this short video tutorial will provide various definitions of landscape, visual features of landscape and their impact, and will try to introduce landscape design and architecture. Well, to define landscape, since it's a multifaceted, because of its multifaceted nature, it can be discussed in various ways. It can be discussed as a visual definition, as an ecological definition, as a cultural definition. So first of all, as a visual definition, it's all the visual features of an area of a land, including physical elements such as landforms, water bodies, and vegetation in terms of their aesthetic appeal. Is the dictionary definition by visual means will have to take into consideration all the physical elements. As per the ecological definition, it is a heterogeneous land area composed of cluster of interacting ecosystems, as has been cited. By cultural definition, it is a geographic area. A landscape is a geographic area with both cultural and natural resource exhibiting historical, aesthetic, and social values, as has been given by UNESCO World Heritage Center. What are the visual features of landscape? If you see this is the landscape here, you will see first of all, first point is it is landform. And the second can be it is water bodies, it's water. And third can be its horizontal structures. Fourth can be vertical structures, can include the buildings, can include the trees, and then can be the fifth will be the vegetation of the area, and the sixth is its climate. So we'll discuss them one by one, though brief. First of all, what's the landform? Landform represents physical shape and features of the land. Suppose in an area we have mountains, we have hills, we have valleys, we have plain and plateaus. This will include the landform. What is the impact of the landform in a landscape? They create unique shapes and texture. They add depth and visual interest to the landscape. And they influence the climate, soil, and the vegetation of an area. And as per the landform is concerned, they can evoke feelings of grandeur and serenity. That's the magnificence and the grandness or the calmness or the peacefulness of the area. In addition to this, it will affect the human settlement patterns and the land use. As per the landforms, there will be the land uses and the settlements also. Second is the water. Water comprises of different water bodies. It can include the rivers, it can include the lakes, it can include the oceans, wetland and glaciers. And what water does as it flows, or it add a movement, reflection and sound to the landscape. It is essential for life. It plays a crucial role in shaping the landscape. And wherever you find the water, it evokes feelings of calmness, tranquility, depending upon on their scale, how much large it is. So water is an important aspect of the landscape. Third are the horizontal structures. It includes roads, pathways, and shorelines. And they create lines and patterns in the landscape. What for they will create? They will guide the viewer's eye through the landscape. And horizontal structures also evoke feelings of movement, flow, and it is a connection between different areas. The fourth one are the vertical structures, include trees, buildings, or monuments, as is shown in this photograph. It creates a sense of scale. When you have a vertical structures, it is drawing the eye upward, and it also provides the sense of grandeur, magnificence of the area, and it also provides human presence in the landscape. Fifth visual feature includes the vegetation. Vegetation includes trees, flowers, and other plants. There is always a diversity, and it will add color, texture, and life to the landscape. It creates a sense of vibrancy because plants are with diverse colors and texture and life cycles, and they infuse on an environment and with energy, liveliness, health, and dynamic quality. So vegetation creates a sense of vibrancy, serenity, depending on the type and density. You have an example, forests or the grasslands, and it will also affect the climate, soil, and the wildlife of the area. In addition to this, it will also influence the human land use and the settlement patterns. Sixth, the most important is the climate. Climate represents the long-term weather patterns like temperature, precipitation, and the wind, etc. We have different types of climates: tropical, temperate, arid, and polar climates. The climate influences the landform, water, vegetation, and the soil of an area. Climate dramatically alters the mood and aesthetic of the landscape. The best thing which sells in the world is its climate. And this is the most important visual feature of the landscape. How these will impact now? What will be the impact of visual features? These all the six visual features, all the six features, they will interact and they will combine, and they will determine the aesthetic appeal of the region. They will create a unique visual experience. They will evoke emotions, and they will inspire the viewers. You will see this photograph which I have taken myself is a Nehru Memorial Botanical Garden at Chashmashahi, where you will see mountains, gardens, water bodies, vegetation, all of them blending together, which is giving an aesthetic appeal, which is a unique visual experience. Now, we'll discuss these in the future videos. To introduce the landscape design, the art of arranging landscape elements to make a good outdoor space is called as landscape design. Landscape design involves compositional relationship between landform, vegetation, water, paving, and structures. Landscape designers are there, landscape architectures are there, Landscape designers are professionals associated with making landscape designs. And landscape designers take into account the suitability of three relevant processes, namely what are social, natural, and aesthetic needs. And then comes the landscape architecture. Landscape architecture are the professionals who are associated with the implementation and the execution of the approved landscape design. So we have two terms here, a designer and an architecture. You have a design, and then it is the work of an architecture to make that design work. Term landscape architecture was invented by Gilbert in 1828, and then it was simultaneously coined by other person. The relationship between landscape design and landscape architecture is equivalent to the relationship between the law and the liars. I think you have understood a designer and an architecture. So the designer makes the design and the architecture as a lawyer implements that design. So landscape architecture are qualified to work on garden design, landscape planning, and other related activities. So landscape architecture is now recognized by the International Labour Organization and is represented by the International Federation of Landscape Architects, IFLA. So they have a very important role. They go for garden design, landscape design, and landscape planning. Most countries have professional associations concerned with landscape architecture. So gardens and landscaped areas, what they do, they enhance the quality of life for millions of people across the world by providing beautiful areas for recreation and relaxation. Open spaces in dense urban environments, appropriate spaces for people of all ages and abilities. According to the American Society of Landscape Architects, ASLA, the landscape architects are the lead professionals in designing the built environment of neighborhoods, towns, and the cities. So this was in brief the introduction of some of the terms. In future videos, we will discuss in detail all the relevant information about landscape design and landscape architecture. Landscape architects are involved in planning sites like office plazas, public squares, campuses, and thoroughfares. Landscape architect conserve and enhance the environment. See, he has a big role to play. Landscape architect has a sphere of activities, private gardens to public parks, town planning, parks, forestry, agriculture, and mineral extraction. So has a vast area to deal, which is the role of an landscape architects. Thanks for joining me on this green adventure. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you loved this video, hit that like button and subscribe the Green Treasure for more videos. See you in the next video. Thank you.